that matter. It's a team that enjoys possession, of course. The players they have as well. I think on the lineup, Malungwane and Ndlondlo, those are players that want to play. Of course, you don't have Ngema, but still, I think they still also want to win this game. Hence, you have Tim and Khumalo to stabilize and to give them that protection. But I think more than anything, they will definitely dominate possession. If you take a look at the lineup as well, how they're going to play is that Otladisa, this is the key man also on the left hand side. But he tends to drift the inside more and take on players. Sometimes he does go on the line. However, I think when you look at also Lamola, he will be playing, of course, in the center of the park, but he tends to drift as well to create space for the likes of Abu Ndlondlo coming in the middle of the park. But yeah, basically that's how they tend to play.
We are fresh out of time. I just need a winner. Just a name from all of you. Starting with you, KG.
Marumo Gallants.
Marumo.
I'll go with Gallants.
Oh, wow. They are all in agreement. It's one for Marumo Gallants. What can Baroka Football Club do? Let's find out, shall we? Nedbank Cup quarterfinal live from the Peter Mokaba Stadium right after this.
In life, we're all faced with those undoubtable no-brainer moments. Those unmissable opportunities that just make sense.
Hey, Baba, what's up? Hey, Lena, do you need a lift? What's up?
Those simple choices that just make life lekker.
Here, I buy.
Get a risk-free first bet at Sporting Bet. If you lose, you get to have another go. If you win, you win. Sporting Bet. It's a no-brainer.
Not for persons under the age of 18. Enjoy responsibly.
South Africa's next MasterChef is right here.
Watch the full box set now on Catch Up.
The Premier Soccer League proudly presents the Nedbank Cup. Dynamic, exhilarating. The Nedbank Cup. Leona. The Nedbank Cup. The one.
Well, it's the Cup of Dreams, and it really has been serving up some fine spectacles. So just a solitary, all top-flight clash across this year's Nedbank Cup quarterfinals, and it sees Marumo Gallants go toe-to-toe with provincial foes Baroka, Limpopo bragging rights, and a place in the last four on the line. Well, the return of fans for yesterday's first quarterfinal in Thohoyandou was a welcome and necessary reminder of exactly why supporters in the stands are so vital to the game. Yes, Lady D was there at the Thohoyandou Stadium, and she is back. The atmosphere absolutely electric last night. Many feeling that we may not have got the dramatic outcome that we did had they been absent. Well, the two sets of players very neatly making their way out, led by our match referee, Victor Hlungwane, today onto the pristine turf of the Peter Mokaba Stadium, where the turnstiles have been revolving for the first time in over 2 years. Relay are seen in the last 8 of the Cup of Dreams in front of fans. Not too many, but it is the first time ever that today's hosts, Marumo Gallants, blessed supporters with a live demonstration of the dynamic and energetic style that has them pegged as the favorites this afternoon. Well, we'll shortly introduce you to the starting lineups of the two teams, and there haven't been many changes for Marumo Gallants from the side that went down 2-0 to Royal AM in the league, just 3. Washington Arubi sits out with King and Global reinstated, having played 5 straight prior to that, which included the shootout win over Pirates in the last 16. Sepo Gomede and Mpilo Ngema also dropped to the bench, the latter with a knock. Ayandin Kili and Miguel Tim step in this afternoon. So Stanton Fredericks is alongside me for this one, looking closely at the formations.
Now looking at Marumo Gallants, it's a 4-1-4-1. Tim comes back into midfield to anchor and provide protection for that defense. And going forward for Marumo Gallants is Otladisa and Molongwan, who provides that creativity, looking to link up with Ndlondlo as well as Lamola.
Dan Melisela's team has a little bit of time, about a week to rest after this match. That is not the case for Baroka. They have a midweek obligation. So half a dozen changes for them from the team that was edged by Amazulu in the DSTV Prem. The first in goal, Elvis Chipazeze replaces Oscarin Masaluke. Usisapia and Kabelo Khotatsile are drafted into the defense. It is a senior debut for Khotatsile, who is impressed with the reserves. The midfield pairing that started in the 5-1 defeat to Cape Town City is deployed again. Andy Mitlape and Sipo Maloleke. Tiso Bombi is the 6th change that is made by Coach Tobijani for this afternoon's clash.
And look at how Baroka will set up. Have to assume that the 6 changes to the starting lineup is because of that. One eye will be on the league encounter. They are at the foot of the table. Switch focus today. An opportunity for them to go through to the semi-finals. That is for Baroka. And up front with Maluleka and Matlepa, the new central pairing that will look to get them over the line towards the semi-finals. As Tobijani and his crew says, focus, all smiles, and an opportunity.
Well, an opportunity is what it is for plenty of the players who turn out today, including their debutants. And the few that are occupying seats in the stands are really up for this one, as we just take a brief pause for a moment of silence. How many of the players deep in prayer? I think at this point, COVID-19 has touched each and every one of us. So a moment of silence to just pay homage to those that have fallen, and a round of applause for the health workers. Victor Hlungwane, the veteran match referee in charge of this one. He'll be assisted by Max Molekwa and Kenny Mamegwa, who are the first and second assistant respectively, as we are just moments away from this big clash. Well, this is a venue that they're both very familiar with, but technically it's Marumo Gallants' home game this afternoon. And for Gallants, well, they may not be the most recent name that's etched onto the trophy, but as Takuma Chamati Bandila last year with many of the same players who are still featuring regularly this season, they'll be looking to get their hands on it again as we begin to get a much clearer picture of who will be in contention for the title in this, the 50th edition of the National Cup. And we are about to get quarterfinal number 2 underway. Well, Takuma Tamati Bandila already into the last 4, having come from 2 goals down to defeat SuperSport United on their own patch last night. A 3-2 victory that they earned in extra time. They set the bar very high for the rest of the teams that are still in contention in this competition.
We can immediately see what will transpire here. Gallants very much a side that rely on the possession of that ball, and Baroka will sit back and wait openings and will eventually show that defense for Gallants as they try to impose their counter-attack football on them. As we see quickly into action there.
Touch for the captain, influential Philip Ndlondlo. Stab that through to the flank as Marumo Gallants get moving. It's a lovely play, helped along by Molongwane, extravagantly. And all the way out now to the right-hand side, with Tami Masias had to step in for Baroka. Almost left the ball behind there. It was crowded out by 3 players, being Vilas and Tim, Molongwane involved.
Grant, from our vantage point, we must commend the groundsman. This field is always in impeccable condition, and even if it rains, the drainage system is just awesome out here, and it makes for some good football, good carpet football, which I'm sure Marumo Gallants will really enjoy.
And it has been raining. A snap script the country, and the Limpopo province not excused from its clutches. Miguel Tim threading that through to Molongwane. He's been body checked in the center of the park, but putting in a great effort to win that ball back for the side that have been dominating possession up till this point. It's only 2 minutes in, but Baroka barely got a touch.
As you can see, Marumo Gallants really have a spring in their step, confident on the ball, confidence in the teammate who played the ball to the likes of Ndlondlo, as well as Kumalo, even if there is a defender on them, and that just sees philosophy of Dan Walisela really implemented in this Gallant side.
Oh, perfect opportunity this afternoon to take advantage of the fact that their opponent will be more on their lead plight, and Marumo Gallants need to get that winning feeling back. Again, they've gone through a little bit of a slump in the league. They actually come into this match on the back of 2 straight defeats, having lost 1-0 to Cape Town City, and then more recently 2-0 to Royal AM. Could be losing 3 games on the trot for the first time this season.
You know what, that loss to Cape Town City came just before the international break, which was not rather a momentum breaker, and they conceded that goal additional time. So yeah, that certainly sent them, and hopefully not too much of a long downward spiral.
And it ended a 7-game unbeaten streak. So they had been in form prior to that. That's kind of served you for the entire night during that break. As Baroka didn't get a feel of the ball here at the Mokaba Stadium. Nicely done by Ayanda Nkili, former Pulumani City man. Vilase.
I'll tell you what, as much as it's tempting to see themselves in the semi-finals, if I'm in these players' shoes, or even the coaches, you know, focus will firmly be on this match against Orlando Pirates. Try to get important 3 points that would see you closer and closer out of danger.
Yeah, that crucial match just around the corner. And they welcome Pirates here to Bulwani. Not many days off in between. I might feel that they can nick something from the game. A very different team turned out against AmaZulu, and expect a similar looking outfit to do the business against Orlando Pirates. They were edged very late on against Usutu. William Mamela scoring in what was the 90th minute, actually. Heartbreaking for Baroka, who would have loved to pick up the point that would have taken them level with the Swallows on 18. First offside of the day, Kimo Megwa. His flag.
A lot of gaps in the defence there, but just not aware of his surroundings there, Masia.
There's Miguel Tim. Kili. So you're speaking about that game coming up against Orlando Pirates and the coaches of the Buccaneers in attendance, Gazi and David. Getting an idea of what their upcoming opponents will be putting together.
They got a massive 3 points midweek, and as they search for that Champions League spot, it's in every iterating how important that spot is for Orlando Pirates. I can see immediately just a hand in the face there to Atlatisa. Marumo Gallants, they do lose possession. Press is immediately applied, back possession.
So well acquainted with this region, Pulukwani man. Velase. Another who's in the twilight of his career, 33. With got some good veterans in defence. Marumo Gallants, with Nonyani being particularly influential. King and Global, I was going to say, Stanton, he sat out in the last game when they played all 5 prior to that, which also included that big win against Baroka, where he kept a clean sheets and they plundered 3 goals.
Looking at that midfield of Marumo Gallants, alongside Kamala. Provides a nice defensive window there for Marumo Gallants. Really, Tim will sit alone and just put it. See Cavallo and Ndondo in front of him, but they've got a bit more conservative here this afternoon, standing that threat that Baroka does have. Here we have it, counter on.
So Baroka attempting to use this to their advantage, and they don't do a particularly good job of it. It's been relinquished to Ndlondlo. He's quickly got it out of his feet to Otlatisa. Those two combine once again. Here is Miguel Tim. He's in today because of the absence of Elabilo and Gema. He's on the bench, but nursing a bit of a hamstring strain. And that would have meant perhaps a little bit more of an attacking midfield setup than it does. Otlatisa now. He's to find that ball in. He turns the responsibility over to Velase. Tim. Londlo.
It's in Patlela that just took him out there, and Londlo, he'll definitely be the danger man.
Nice seats, the VIP also occupied this afternoon. Really a rocking atmosphere in Toyando last night. We wonder how many will turn out for Mamelodi Sundowns game a little bit later on. It's 6 p.m. One of the best teams on the continent taking on an ABC Motsepe side. Summerfield Dynamos from Chatsworth. Now that's given away to Kumalo. Perhaps an opportunity for him to shoot. He's quickly closed down. Can't get the shots really out of his feet. Has 1 goal this season, does Spukumalo. came in a 3-1 win over TS Galaxy. It's unbelievable how they've dominated this match. Marumo Gallants, in terms of the possession, but also the passes they've strung together. Almost quadruple the amount of their visiting foes.
And that strategy of retaining possession, I tell you what, really, it's like trying to break down your opposition slowly but surely. And eventually, because you know, when you're not in possession, Grant, you're working so much harder. And I think that's eventually where Marumo Gallants try and just have that edge, because they'll be working less, the ball is moving, they're retaining the possession, and hopefully that will just give them the edge closer to the end of the match.
Now Atladisa. He goes down under the challenge. The ball squirted away from him. Good composed defending from Nonyane. Now King and Global. Miguel Tim turned 30 a couple of months ago. Marumo Gallants continue with the patient build-up, but they haven't netted any of their loss. And at the 12 minutes that have elapsed, they're edging towards the 6-hour mark since Philip Ndlondlo's penalty against Orlando Pirates in the Cup in the last 16. And they're currently on their longest spell without a goal, eclipsing a period of just over 5 hours that they endured in November.
I'll tell you what, Grant, that's a problem for me, is that Marumo Gallants' possession.
Now, nice ball in and an opportunity from a tight angle. Elvis Chipazeze forced to make the save. He did have his angles well covered. Ratulamola picking up that cross from Velase.
Once again, that width that Velase is providing will start to show there. And opportunity eked out there from Velase. Mola there just twisting and turning there, forcing a save. Chipazeze. Great striking work there, great awareness, exactly where the goal was.
It's a very necessary intervention, I think, because that might, with its trajectory there, not have made it into the back of the net. But Atladisa was lurking, and an easy tap in, and Chipazeze got nothing on it. Ball loose. Excellent fight again from Molongwane. Not a particularly excellent follow-up shots from Kumalo.
A bit of a snapshot there from Kumalo. But I was mentioning just that 2 goals from Marumo Gallants, and it's an example of they don't use their possession wisely. It's Cape Town City. Very frustrated. Cape Town City just sitting back. They had as much as 69% possession, Gallants, and you still don't get the full 3 points. So important to make that possession work for you.
Now Kumalo has found Lamola. He tried to help it along to the open space for Molongwane. Marumo Gallants have 3/4 of the possession so far. And that certainly reflects what we've seen out on the park. So a lot better with their pass See that's creeping up towards the 90% mark. Again, they're moving the ball with such ease. Nicely off the outside of his foot by Ndlondlo. Amola has it nicked off him at a crucial moment, but they are applying a lot of pressure here, and they still have it. Molongwane with an opportunity to swing it in. It's a great ball, in fact. Really gave Ndlondlo an opportunity to challenge in that area of uncertainty. Elvis Chibuzeze read the situation and came to intervene.
Yeah, what a brilliant ball there from Molongwane. Just taking it into the near post, and Ndlondlo almost.
And they fend away this corner. Kadisa regathers. Now, Miguel Tim. Plenty of forward options for them to aim for here. Mabocha aims, or opts rather, to go out wide. Baroka attempting momentarily to play out from the back. Elvis Chibuzeze thought better of it and goofed that one out. There's a lot of noise being generated by a fairly small pocket of fans here. Many of them clad in Baroka regalia, although there are a few other clubs who are not present here at the stadium today that are being represented.
And their coaches are represented here.
Yeah. A good ball from Tim Villas. Nankili. Miguel Tim has swept that out to the left-hand flank. Quite get it right.
You can see what he wanted to do there, Tim. Very much the engineer of our Marumo Gallants play.
Yep.
Very pivotal to that possession game. He has a brilliant array of passing, short and long. Miguel Tim.
Basil Patlele attempting to steal a yard or two. Now cutting inside well, there's Otladisa. Still doesn't get the call in his favor. Several times he's gone down after making similar darts.
He can be so dangerous, especially when he cuts in there. Otladisa. A lot of trickery about him. Love him to score a bit more goals, and this is where it's so dangerous, into the heart of that defense. A little bit overrun there. Certainly calls for a foul there, but referee not having it.
That one over the crossbar. That challenge actually opened up a cut on Otladisa's knee. Still, call not coming in his favor. Molongwane is given it away rather cheaply. Opportunity for Dan Ndlovu. A rare opportunity for Baroka to try and conjure something here. Bobete to Maluleke. They retain possession, Baroka, and it's a poor effort, ballooned into the midsection of the stands here.
Yeah, a little bit rushed.
Bobete. Yep.
Yeah, a little bit rushed there from Bobete. Sito Bajani finding some life there with that attack. His charges.
Bobete has been used with frequency this season. He does have one goal to his name. He's one of many very young players in this Baroka setup, only 21 years of age. First time ball cut out. But they have one possession back, Marumo Gallants. Side against Molongwane.
Yeah, that's lazy. Easy there from Molongwane, just standing offside, caught offside there. But Molongwane really lease of life. for him here after that career-ending injury. He's certainly done extremely well to find himself regular game time and as effective as ever. Molongwane, solid season under the belt.
Yeah, he's contributed with 3 goals as well this term. And recently turned 34 as well. I think he will endeavor to play as long as he can, having missed such a chunk of his career. Now, Baroka, they have to make something of moments like this. Twisting and turning is Ntiso Bombi. He's dispossessed rather easily in the end, has to be said. Molongwane tries to turn with it. Situation was well read. Velase and 19-year-old Maluleke climbing all over him. No surprise that he gets the call in his favor. Maluleke actually debuted in the last 16 of this competition as they beat TS Galaxy on penalties after a 1-1 draw. Now we're seeing a very early change here. Endi Mitlape is being replaced by Basil Goldstone. And Mitlape, the 25-year-old, had never played professional football until their 5-1 loss against Cape Town City. He was recruited just a few days prior from Turfloop FC. And he's lasted just under 22 minutes.
Maybe the introduction of Goldstone. Coach just looking for a bit of energy there up front, but I tell you what, Grant, I really dislike it when players are nicked off for the first half, and sometimes it's tactical, yes, but most of the time I think rather emotional change more than tactical.
They were struggling to get a foothold in the center of the park, so let's see if it improves with the introduction of Goldstone. He's on the ball now. Let's get that pass in behind.
Could be the fact that it looked like they were outnumbered in the middle of the park there. Just adding numbers because it's becoming a little bit too easy for Tim Kumalo and Ndlondo. It was 3v2 and now it looks like Goldstone in that middle of the park. Just equal out the numbers.
Goldstone's pass, it's gone astray. Ndlondo, Tumbilasi and now Kumalo. Ndlondo's been so important for this team this season. Featured in every single one of their league matches, starting over 2 of those appearances off the bench. Good ball in from Velase. Lamola feeding Molongwane. Molongwane, oh, brilliant skill. The skip towards the byline. Did manage to zip across in. That's a scramble clear by Baroka.
Problem for Baroka is when they do get forward, always outnumbered and players not getting up the field quick enough.
Mabocha on the ball, almost losing it. Former Baroka man. Spent a very brief spell at the club. Had only a few games for them and then was released in July of 2018. Having prior to that, spent a long time at Black Leopards. Velase wins it, but there had already been a foul perpetrated just moments before on the debutant Skabelo Fotatsile. Comes from the Baroka Academy. Before that was at Bella Bella Academy. Doing good work with the Baroka reserves recently. That's a good ball in. Velase gets it clear. They can't afford to switch off. Baroka are still dangerous, despite their recent woes.
And there was some great anticipation there from Velase. Came across from right back there. Clearing the lines there, almost falling for Maluleka. Velase on hand to clear the lines defensively. He's been very active this opening quarter of an hour. Velase on the attack front and defensive.
Headed away by Nunyane. Lifted in for Maluleke. It's easy claim. King and Flow. Well, the voices are ringing out from the stands. And Baroka should be growing in confidence as they get more and more supports get behind them. And I think also the supporters, having witnessed the opening 25 minutes or so, will be mindful of the fact that this side needs a little bit of extra to help them through this time. Velase. Defensive work done by the youngster to support that particular attack. But will they come from Gallants? Chile. Not Latisa trying to thread it through. It was in the 18-yard area this time, just sets it back for Velase, and his cross is caressed into the hands of Elvis Chipazeze.
You can see there as they attempt that counter-attack. It's 5 against 2, 3, and now slowly making their way up, but in away possession is Baroka.
Yeah, poor pass by Benepopete. Well, when he thought about the pass for Otladisa, back to Miguel Tim, since the presence of Maluleke behind him. Out for Mabocha. Little turn. He was retreated about 20 meters or so.
We haven't seen much of Ndlondo, not as effective as he normally is for this Gallant side.
Attempting to play out, and they have escaped. And they're giving the ball away. Tim by his head to Ndlondo. Velase seen a lot of the ball. Mulungwane, Tim again. Ratalomola's presence prompting Elvis Chipazeze to eventually pick the ball up.
And the Baroka will do well to avoid extra time intervals there, knowing that they have a game on Tuesday.
Yep, precisely.
Captain Onyane missing opportunities down there for Maluleke.
There's Makume, who's dragged down the centre half, has only just recently returned from an injury layoff. Goldstone. Pass intercepted by Ndlondo. Makume has been able to clean up. Cleverly clipped into midfield. But Miguel Tim is on the scene. Goldstone, Maluleke seem to be gradually gaining a foothold to Baroka. Although with that being said, they do give the ball away quite cheaply as they get further upfield and the pressure intensifies from Marumo Gallants.
Yeah, but you're right, Grant, because now that the numerical advantage has been taken away from Marumo Gallants in the middle, you see that Baroka starting to just manage it a little bit better in the center.
Sila was up to meet him Velase, and they've reset, going from the back again. They're spaced out wide for Mabocha. Baroka have clawed back some of that possession. Now sitting at 33% a little earlier on, it was 25. Still waiting to hit triple figures in terms of passes completed. So Marumo Gallants almost 3 times as many passes, but then when you look at the goal attempts, they haven't been turning that possession and superiority in terms of passes into chances. They might here though, Miguel Tim. Again, they opt against that final delivery, patiently waiting for a more clear-cut opportunity. Tatisa. Keely sprays it out to Mabocha. His touches let him down. Since the presence, I think, of Pahlele.
I think it's finding a lot more joy down the right-hand side than the left there. Mabocha, opportunity, making the most of it. I think that ball, as you mentioned, from Gallants, possession is there, but a killer pass as they enter into the final third. Missing link for Gallants.
Allos continue to wear down their provincial rivals. Lunyane strides into the opposition half. And he gets forward, he continues to get forward. Maybe even he's grown impatient. He's given the ball away here. It's up with Dan and Ndlovu. Turns 20 later this month. His attempt to stab it through, well cut out by Ayanda Nkili. Truth, it wasn't particularly difficult. Now, Molongwane. And Oklatisa Ndlondlo. Well, showman stuff from Otladisa, but it's no good if they can't hang on to possession. They swiftly won it back though. I think Longwani had put his whistle to his lips when Namola originally went down. The plays continue. This is Dan and Ndlovu's trying to make something happen for Baroka, looking for an option. Nothing materializes from that. Miguel Tim in some space. Otladisa. Looking to be positive. Katlego Otladisa is chopped down and he'll finally get the free kick he has been searching for.
Yeah, free kick in a dangerous position here for Gallants, and Otladisa once again trying to weave his way through a number of defenders. And totally outnumbered, but winning the foul, drawing the foul rather. Intelligence of Otladisa. It's a substitute Goldstone just communicating there.
Elvis Chipizezu trying to organize his wall. Dan and Ndlovu joining the barrier. It'll be just 4 men try and impede Philip Ndlondlo. Does have 1 goal in the cup. That penalty scored against Orlando Pirates. Another one in the CAF Federation Cup preliminary round, and 7 in the league. It's a nice little tally for the season as he paces out his run up here. So no mystery surrounding who will take. Zibazeze readies himself for the strike from Ndlondlo, which is a little wayward.
Yeah, should have done better there, Ndlondlo. It's a nice distance from the goal. Enough distance on it to get it up and over the wall, but a tameless effort from Maker.
Isn't looking a particularly happy man at the moment, Dan Manisela.
I always loved it when you're on the bench and the coach complains, but he complains to the players and you're like, just what must you do? Just nod your head. Not that I was on the bench often, Grant. I see you gave me the look here.
But more pressure being applied there was Skumaleke trying to close down. Siles gone careering into Miguel Tim. Goldstone. See it. Back with Makume. Amona was closing some of the passing options. This is Vusi Sabia. Omavati for the dot. Oh, lovely running. That's brilliant from Tamsanka and Masia. From Lodi Sundown and products went silent through the opposition players. Thought he should have been awarded a foul. The referee didn't agree with him. Makume to Goldstone. Here is Masia again. Now Goldstone's run himself into problems. This is Kumalo. His pass cut out. Rata Lamola is the alleged guilty party.
Look there. So it looked like there was contact on Lamola first, and then kind of slipping through a defender. Has been assisting a lot as a point of reference, Lamola, for Gallants, but always looking for the ball in to feet rather than in behind into the space.
Kaizer Chiefs no longer present in the cup, but present in the stands. Wondering if the gentleman in red got ready without reading the weather reports. A little too heavy for him. Make his way through to him. Well, Baroka last 20 matches against provincial rivals. Have a pretty decent record. This is in all competitions. They've won 50% of those, 10 in total. Drawn 3 and lost 7. They've also had 4 previous meetings in the Nedbank Cup with fellow Limpopo sides, and they've won 3 of those. Their only defeat was actually in the semi-finals back in 2011. After they famously beaten Kaizer Chiefs, they came up against Black Leopards. They drew 2-2 and then lost on penalties, so not technically even a defeat during the regulation minutes. So that paints a pretty promising picture for them. That's considering the form that they're in currently. I don't think it counts for particularly much. Mabocha battling away with Pombi. Maslele gets involved. Mabocha goes down. So Baroka have already made a first half sub, and Marumo Gallants will match them. And well, perhaps they want a little bit more dynamism in the center of the park. Spusiso Kumalo is being withdrawn, and that's something that you alluded to a little earlier on. Spukumalo, Miguel Tim, it's a little too defensive. So here comes Monde Tambaniso just to inject some extra energy and some attacking verve, I would suspect.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Pambaniso will play a little bit in front of Tim and leave Tim to be the pivot in midfield. Join Ndlondo as they look to play just in front of the pockets of spaces in front of the fence and try and create a bit more. As you mentioned, yes, they've had the possession, Gallants, but not effective enough. So just the attempts on goals, not speaking to the possession.
So now, well over 6 hours since Marumo Gallants last found the back of the nets in all competitions. Malisela has tinkered 5 minutes before the break in order to correct that. Kili, it's from Mabocha. Latisa. Now Ndlondo. Looking for Velasi. It's gone tumbling down inside the area. So Victor Lungani will go over to consult with Max Mololekwa, will he? The yellow card is for Tami Masia. And I think obviously the contact started outside of the area. A closer inspection with the replay will give us a better indication.
Yeah, we'll have a look at how close that was. Just before this pass was played, looking at the space in behind, you were certainly onside. It does look like it just outside. There's the contact. Yeah, spot on. Yeah, spot on.
Yeah.
Contact there, just outside it.
And he only made the push because he realized he was outside the area. So it's a great call actually coming from the first assistant, Max Mololekwa. He's always up with the play because if there's any game who's more like a player, it's Mr. Mololekwa. Some great nick.
Not sure why the hand is on the heart. He's not singing the national anthem there.
So Bunyanya goes for it. Did probably suit his foot a little better. That's 2 free kicks that Stan Malizela is not particularly happy with. First from Ndlondo, now Bunyanya.
They're wasteful boy from the captain. I just noticed for that last play entry into the final third for Gallants, Baroka bravely playing with a high line, and Gallants insisting to get the ball to feet. They're not looking in behind, being active all afternoon. They start to cause problems.
As Mulwani looking to cause problems. The final touch from Goldstone, got a toe in. And safely into the clutches of Elvis Chipizezi. He's quickly dispensed this upfield for Pahlele.
Some great defensive work from what Ladisa chased down the defense. Preventing that counter.
Mulungwane. Obete's got it from Makume. He launches it long.
Similar hairstyles, similar play for Bete and Ndlondo.
Here is Ndlondo. Need to combine with Pambaniso. Leka for Baroka. Pahlele. Now, Dizo Bombi. Bombi. has gone sliding in and given away the kick. Sizo Pompi made his debut in the Nedbank Cup in the last 32 against Stellenbosch, and they made his league debut. That famous draw they were able to secure against Mamelodi Sundowns. Richard Bulu scoring later on. He's gone to the book here, the youngster from Thanin. Yes.
Just assistance coming through, but showing a bit of studs, catching Captain Nonyani from the ankle there. Desperate to retrieve possession, and that can be painful. And you can see he showed us wearing 6 studs, ladies and gentlemen, and that is going to last Nonyani's ankle.
Captain just assessing the damage.
So easy for us to see the replay and make a call. Because initially I thought it was a soft tackle, but not spotted there from ref Mani.
Clever from Atlatisa to feed Velasi, who's quickly got it out of his feet and kept the ball moving. The low cross here was defended by Baroka, but they've promptly given it away. And the moment that Marumo Gallants start to move the ball with some urgency, and they pose their opponents some problems. But that's it, first half in the books, and truthfully it's been a rather uneventful one. But Dan Malisela has not looked happy, so you would imagine his team talk will set his side right. They have dominated in terms of passes and possession, but Baroka have carved out nearly as many chances as Marumo Gallants up to this point.
Yeah, it's cancelled each other out there. Gallants not taking advantage of that possession. 2 changes made to switch things up, but no effect yet, and let's see what they'll cook up in the halftime break.
Well, there's spots in the semi-finals of the Nedbank Cup brackets for whichever one of these teams is brave enough to go out and really play for it. It's 0-0 at halftime.
The Premier Soccer League proudly presents the Nedbank Cup. Dynamic, exhilarating, now the Nedbank Cup, the one.
Enter Betway's 4-flag competition and stand a chance to win an F1 experience of a lifetime, as well as up to 300,000 Rand every Formula One race day. Play Forza Flag free at betway.co.za.
What would you put your name to? A priceless piece of art? A blank check? Or an award-winning single-grain whiskey made only in Cape? Which heard not once, but twice, in oak barrels for smooth flavors and it. What we're proud to put our name on. Baines trusted.
Hey, this young man rest, cutting his way into the history books, giving him fresh fades without his energy fading. And it all started when he fueled up with the small cram decker. Your lunchtime achievement award winner, Becky. Cram more day into your day with the small cram decker. That's 2 layers, 3 cheeses, and a cheese griller cram crust for just $69.90. Demonese pizza. Try some amazing.
I don't know about you. I want to be entertained. I want to be thrilled. All of the jets. I want excitement. I want options. Variety. I want it. That's why Hollywood
Bank has credit. Seriously. And you can get a credit card, an overdraft, or personal loan in just 2 minutes.
Do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money? Choice. Seriously, join Nedbank today.
Predict the scores of 6 soccer matches, and you could win 1 million rand for free. What's more, even if you miss the jackpot, there is still a guaranteed 30,000 rand for the player with the closest predictions each week. So, could that be you? Visit www.superpicks.com today and Super Picks. Play for free. Win for real.
Of Super Picks in South Africa already closed because the matches have kicked off, but you could win a life-changing jackpot simply by predicting. Scan the QR code on your screen right now and get playing. 1 million rand up for grabs each week, thanks to no goals in the first 45 minutes at the Peter Mokaba Stadium. Let's hear the thoughts of our panel on the first 45 we've just seen, starting with you, Katlego.
Nothing really much. Baroka look like they just want to sit back and absorb extra time. The right winger of Baroka is playing left back. I mean, I don't know if he has transformed that much to play from right wing to left back in 1 week, but everything from Marumo came on the right-hand side. That's, I think, where they would want to go, and probably 2 set pieces and 2 different kicks for anything that might come up. I mean, set pieces, you should have a designated set piece taker. You should practice those. But they had 2 set pieces close to the goals, but 2 different takers. It's a bit disappointing for me.
So when we look at some of the first half moments that stand out, it actually does back up exactly what she's called into action twice on the right-hand side.
Extremely well, but also to go the coordination of the maybe front 3 that would be able to tuck in him to overlap, but he's getting good quality a headache. But for me, it's having more numbers because they're in control of the game. The closer they are to goals, I think better opportunity.
Yeah, Dehang, you know, these 2 sides are goal shy. We know it, so the numbers show us. Gallants have 2 goals in their last 5 in all competitions. For Baroka, it's 3 in their last 5. If there are to be goals today, I think going to come from just looking at this moment. Yeah,
I think more than anything, these 2 teams, you know, they like their possession more so for Marumo. But I think if we look at how they play, that they need to use the level of Utladisa to play there in behind the spaces, because Baroka pushes up, they play a low block. It's not low pressure press, it's almost like medium. So for me, I think if they play, then we talk about where Baroka is actually can be exploited.
Yeah, also Lamont Mula, I think he's playing a bit too far from the goals. I mean, he's a number 9. You need him in the box. You need him in that area where he can score goals. And I think Marumo, they're just looking to bombard the left-hand side of Baroka because they know they don't have a left back or that guy doesn't play left back. But I'm a bit disappointed with Lamola. I think he needs to be more in the box. They need to find him. If he's there, he'll get chances. And then whether he scores, he doesn't, another thing. But if he's there in that area, it creates a bit of space for Molongwani and Notladisa to use the flanks.
Yeah, Amanda's nodding in agreement. Let's look at the numbers while she expands on that and see what story it tells us. Definitely for Marumo Gallants, no doubt.
For sure, possession, in that case, Marumo dominating, goal attempts as well, 5. But on target, we want to see a bit more shots on target for both teams. Baroka, obviously, we can tell, I think the numbers are saying they are, sort of comfortable sitting. Like Katlego was saying, to absorb the pressure, but my biggest concern is those final third entries, 9% only in Marumo's half. What is the mission for them? But obviously, Eton is always dominating midfield.
It is, and I think that's what they must focus on. Because of this, however, both teams need to also because of the lack of the given goal scorers, they don't have it.
Well, it's goalless now. We must have a winner today. One sides will progress to the semi-finals. We're going to stay tuned to find out how. Second half is live on your World of Champions in just a couple moments. Stick with us.
New York City, so much more than a way of life. The home of crude vodka, where raw ingredients get distilled down to reach the top of the world. 5 times that vintage black, pure neat in a bottle.
Love creating content, taking photos, making videos. I use a lot of data all day. Like, put it in the router and then it's ready to go. Rain has allowed me to act on my motivations, basically. If I feel inspired, I can go onto YouTube, create my content, and put it. All because of Rain.
Turn on unlimited 5G from only $4.99 a month.
Nivea Men Black and White Deo with 5 times Deo action to protect you and your favorite gear from stains. Try SA's #1 anti-stain deodorant.
Into the box! In the bottom corner!
Watch all 380 games of the unbeatable, unpredictable Serie A.
How do you know if you're paying too much for car insurance? Simple. If they can't beat what you're currently paying, tell them you want 100 Rand. Being claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years, tell them you want 1,500 Rand. Savings or cash. You always get something out. SMS car to 31570. Call 08600 60,000 now for a quote.
Royal Flush Gin, 5 times distilled, French luxury.
Premier Soccer League proudly presents the Nedbank Cup. Dynamic, exhilarating. The Nedbank Cup. Leona. The Nedbank Cup. The one. Gallants have dominated but underwhelmed. They have mustered just 2 shots on target so far. Baroka just 1. It paints as the fans who turned out today perhaps have not been as entertained as those that were present at the Toyando Stadium for yesterday's matchup between Chakuma Chamataba and Supersport United. If you missed that one, to the semi-finals of the Nedbank Cup. This is the only last date, and Marumo have looked a little late at times and haven't perhaps played depleted Baroka side, who have kept plenty of players in reserve for their upcoming midweek match against Orlando Pirates here at home. Young and old in attendance. This is the first weekend of the last 2 years. And Evidence Mokaba is being introduced, as is Ananes Gallants for Baroka, as they look to get out of this game. Their lineup might have suggested that they came here to nick something, and if they didn't, well, then they would just settle for trying to preserve their place in the DSTV Premiership. But the changes that they are preparing at wanting to go for this one, delivery of Gebhardt, or the man who will be introduced alongside him, could prove. So let's wait to confirm for you who will be off, and it is Bombi who will be making way for Gebhardt. They'll be onto the park. And the fact that Kotsile remains, well, we'll wait to see what's happening on that left-hand flank, exactly how they will line up. There's Kotsile has been withdrawn, just as I mentioned. Evidence Mokaba on in his place. And Sidi Dion coming on for Lerato Lamola, who was a little ineffectual during the first half. The Ivorians scored a brace as they got past ABC Motsepe League side Santos in the round of 32. He'll be hoping to repeat those heroics. So changes all around, and hopefully a change in the tempo in the second half. I'm sure that's what you desire as well, Stan.
Yeah, definitely so. But looking at this Gallant side, it's like for like. Mola off, Dion on Dion. But more likely to look for the ball in behind the defense. Trouble that defense of Baroka with some movement. Bombi off, for the Chile off. Gebhardt come in left back. Okay, could possibly change there. Looking at Evidence Mokaba. Operate possibly in the front three or the top man to go to.
I would suspect Dan and Global goes a little wider, but as this second half develops, we'll get a clearer picture of exactly how they're trying to operate. Both teams will be eager to avoid extra time. I'm sure it's never really a team, unless you're talking about was way down leagues that are trying to force extra time necessarily for different reasons. Marumo Gallants want to get it done, assert their dominance, and make them their possession. superiority and turnaround time before they face the Buccaneers. Already, Mokaba involving himself. He up there throw from Pele, off the outside of the foot, but Dion.
As I mentioned, that Dion's introduction for Marumo Gallants up front. Look to that. Find the ball in behind the defenders, and that'll stretch the side of Baroka somewhat. Leave a bit more spaces for Ndlondo and Bambanisa to operate in.
There is Mbamaniso. Kili. Miguel Tim. Back to the centre half. Baroka sitting off. The onus on Marumo Gallants to make the move. It's out to Mabocha. As Ladisa burst onto the scene with the Platinum Stars. Experienced a major dip in Marumo Gallants League games this season. Starting 18 of them. Out of 23 or 24 rather. Going to pull the strings. There's Ndlondo. Velasi was very active during the first half. Want to get him on the ball in more advanced areas, and was having the touchline. Much further up the field, in a lot of space at the moment, and Ndlondo will look for him, and he has found him expertly. Now the cross swung in, can't beat the first man, which is disappointing.
A good first touch from Mbelasi, but the cross a little bit disappointing. Expected the intensity to change it. Certainly hasn't there. Gallants once again from side to side, retaining possession.
Monim Pamaniso gets it from Velasi, nicked away from him. Quick to close down and win it back. Here's Miguel Tim. Hatisa goes tumbling down, pulled by Paslele. No more.
That was well spotted from the ref there. A very late challenger. He's already passing it and flying through the winger. A lecture there from Victor Kamani.
It's just careless, and he could have stopped this momentum earlier than that. Philip Ndlondo now over the ball, looking to deliver in this set piece. It's disappointing, as was his and Nonyane's direct shots at goal from free kicks in the first half. Ndlondo, the cross from deep. Chipazeze goes for it, and he hasn't got it. Almost controlled by Molongwane. And Babu is in his clutches now. Well, I think he felt compelled to try and challenge for that, because with Velasi under it, a great ball in, they could have spelled some serious danger.
Almost fluffed his line, Chipazeze, with the first cross. From there from Ndlondo, spotting Velasi on the far post. Great awareness and anticipation there from Velasi. Knew that defender looks like he was going to collide with the goalkeeper. Tried to support eventually, but take nothing away from the recovery from Chipuzeze. Untidy hands from the goalkeeper, but he did manage to get up on his feet and make the save.
In that kind of situation, was obliged to listen to the goalkeeper, right? Even if it seems a little ill-advised, because from a second and third viewing, it seems like everyone might have had that covered, and a little jump, he would have nodded that away ahead of Vilasi. It almost ducked, allow the goalkeeper to take charge of the situation. And Soskuri now warms up just in case the current goalminder cannot continue.
What happens in that situation, Grant, is that if the goalkeeper comes out, but he calls for it, then the defender would have to obviously understand that he's coming out and then duck. But if nobody communicates, defender must defend and deal with it accordingly. There's no instruction being held out to him.
And I think there was, because there was a clear movement away from the ball. And is that then a misreading of the situation by the goalkeeper, or perhaps not trusting the defender to get it clear? In any case, they might have to bring on their fourth chain. Fewer options later in the match as they try and influence this game further. Baroka fans in really good voice.
And then you must question the 4 changes if it does go to extra time.
Your shots. He bought the club then known as Takumuta Matsumane in January of last year. They were rooted to the bottom of the table. He couldn't change the name at that point midway through the season, although his intention was never to come as TM, and eventually went on to 12 and win the Nedbank Cup under Dylan Kerr. This project. Rattled that into the chest of Molongwane. A real chance for him to control. It's clever by Evidence Mokaba, and it goes in. It's a great cross, and the header just wide of the target.
We knew it being something to the party for Baroka. Evidence Mokaba just creating that opportunity there. Tobo. Great ball play to the near post there. Getting at the end of it, just couldn't direct it onto target there. And, another substitute involved there, Hebar, providing the service for Maluleka.
The youngster from the DSTV Diski Challenge side. What a moment that would have been for him. Lovely turn. Now Marumo Gallants trying to make something. Miguel led the midfielder to that fact, and he has it now. Deep cross from him. Dion challenging. And eventually away by Baroka, involved in getting that clear. Oh, this senior-old Maluleka is down. Kolobajani with the heavy jacket on today. Nice crisp day in Buluwani. We know this club are serious pressure. 1 point behind that counts for very much when you know routinely picking up points. By the way, is back up and on his feet.
You have to say that it was a cup of coffee to keep you
Yeah,
warm.
where did you order that? We could do with a bit. That's not technically an away game for Baroka. This is a stadium they frequently use, but in name only. Lovely from Ndlondlo. Steered up. Just 2 clean sheets on the road for Baroka all season. Across 14 games in all competitions. Oldest draw with Pirates in December, and then more recently when they beat Stellenbosch out in the Winelands 1-0 in the first round of the Cup. They have held their opposition here. Still 0-0, still goalless. That victory over Stellenbosch, by the way, is the only win they've managed this season on the road. Atlatisa, some good pace. Emabocha for company, leaves it behind for him. This is good interplay. Ndlondlo squeezed through for Mpamaniso, looking much better. Molongwane is offside.
Great passage of play there from Baroka, just trying to turn up the notch a little bit, but it moves quicker, just provides so much more options, but agonizingly close. But it did look like his hand or something was offside there, Grant.
Well,
if you agree with me.
Non-ball playing part of the body like a hand, but perhaps the hand just leaned slightly offside. The call. Atlatisa. He's been dispossessed. This is Dan Ndlovu. Maleke through to Mokaba. Rights the challenge of Nonyane. And the Bafana man looking for options now. He's swept it in with his left foot. It's away though by Marumo Gallants. Miguel Tim. Atlatisa. Tim again. Pamaniso's in space. Sedi Dion hugging the right-hand touchline. Look forward by Tim for Atlatisa. Goes down under the challenge of Mpatlele, but it was a clean tackle. Oh, the English ball forward.
And once again, captain cleans up there. Enough numbers for Baroka going forward quick enough. You can see Mpamaniso as well as Ndlondlo starting to see him off the ball. The pick up spaces there.
Now this Marumo Gallants side as TTM last season at this stage of the campaign. They did meet another Limpopo side, Black Leopards, in the quarterfinals as Ndlondlo receives it in the 18-yard area. Still at Ndlondlo! It's fierce, but it's straight at Chipazeze.
Yeah, that was nice and direct there. Switch of play from Tim. Finding Ndlondlo. And work his way inside and got a shot on target. Find the opener.
Well, quarter hour into the second half. That's the first shot on target. Dominating possession as they were. Quite as much of a margin. The end of of Benassi through for Mulwane. It's looking good for Marumo. Gallants clip towards and Pambaniso. Goldstone has a feed now. Pambaniso couldn't any real connection on that. Every time the Gallants are promising, or rather, every time they are trying to be penetrative, it's promising for them. It's few and far between, isn't it?
It's that final ball, that final thought that Mulungwani should have done better on space in behind the defense. That final ball just not on point this afternoon for Gallants.
Miguel Tim to Mabocha. Atladisa. Still Atladisa. He has put the cross in there. Pambaniso helps it along. Dion crashes that towards goal. And then the header has come back off the upright. Still they have it. Case in point, whenever they're positive, they make things happen. Maybe they'll be compelled to go at it a little more. It's a scuffed clearance from Sabir, but he still got it away. Evidence Mokaba onto Pafile. That's closing down from Dion, and the throw-in's gone in their favour.
Great work right there from the striker. Like that, he's come on, checked a bit of energy there. Ball first, followed through and caught Bakele.
Dan Ndlovu makes the tackle on Mabocha. Ball in his favour.
You can't fault the work rate of Gallants, assuming position. Immediately close and not suffocating the opponents.
So the best chance, took that away from him, and then it fell for him again.
He done well to get it at the second opportunity there. There was a bit of a deflection from the header. This is the earlier attempt from Ndlovu cutting inside, trying to get it in at the first post, and Chipazeze equal to the task.
Velas has given the ball away in a dangerous area to Masia. Disappointing conclusion to what might have been a chance for Baroka. A rare one at that. Gallants have shut them down effectively. Now Mulungwane to this one. Instead, Dion has slipped at the most inopportune moment. Still Mulungwane. Pambaniso. Miguel Tim. First time out to Otladisa. Couple of step overs from Otladisa. And Goldstone will get it away. How unfortunate for Dion. He could have been fed through by Mulungwane, and he not gone down.
Yeah, Grant, I tell you what, that was a massive opportunity for Gallants.
Now, Evidence Mokaba has it. And he'll get it again. I guess it's there. Velasi on the opposite flank.
Solid all